What's going on, everyone? This is the Nerd Informer, and today we're going to be talking about aliens, alien reports that the government has released, which is not many, and some stories. Let's get into it. This is Tyler.
Get into it. And you.
First
I'm
off,
thinking we need to do the report first, I think, bro.
the little that they gave us that was like everyone was waiting for. I mean,
Yes.
that was some bullshit.
That would be the one.
And I don't think they're going to release anything else, I don't, unless they will, but
It's basically the report that I expected to get.
yeah.
I mean, if you actually read what they put out, it was basically what you expect they were going to say.
Basically they can't hide it now that they don't know that what they are or what it is.
I think they're just trying to get as much non-information out as possible because it's so hard to hide, military testing and stuff now with aircraft because where you're going to go. Everybody's got a camera. Everybody's got video.
And everyone wants to depict it and figure out what it is.
Yeah.
But it seems always like, it's the people that have the 1940s camera.
Right.
With a bad shake.
So the gist of the report was basically this, and I'll read some of it. It says the report does find that not all UAPs behave in the same way, which led to the experts to offer different hypotheses about what they might be. The Washington Post continues. This is from the Washington Post. The objects very clearly demonstrate an array of aerial behaviors, said a senior U.S. government official who described the report's finding to a group of reporters on the condition of anonymity, because the report had not been released yet. There is no one answer about what these are, the official said. When it came to attempting to explain these objects, the report gave 5 potential conclusions. So the first one that they came up with was man-made lightweight objects, balloons, plastic trash, flying air things that, I don't know, that you make in your garage, I guess.
Did they ever talk about anything about speed? So plastic.
Right. Basically weather balloons. You know what I mean?
Going 40,000 miles per hour.
Yes. And then another one, they gave 5, I think. Another one is tricks of light or water with ice crystals, moisture, or heat fluctuations being detected as a flying object. All right.
I don't believe any of that.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I guess like you and your brother were talking about the one time with the columns of light.
Yeah,
that's kind of a trick light thing.
I guess you're right on that, but
those weren't flying around. Those were just
one spot
columns,
not moving.
Yeah. Then another one is crafts designed by the U.S. government or private industry, although officials have stated that this remains unlikely. I'm thinking that's probably the most likely. Or crafts designed by a foreign adversary, such as Russia or China, potentially related to advances in hypersonic technology. Now, the problem with that is if they got it and we don't, you don't want nobody to know that.
It's kind of cool that they already made up a word saying hypersonic.
Right.
So I want to know when that word was made, because of how would they know what it's called? Unless,
well, I know I've read some things about China trying to work on supersonic stuff for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how far advanced they are, but who knows, maybe. And then the last one they say was the 5th and final category is one sure to entice UFOologists and amateur sleuths, as well as U.S. officials, including all other theories for which there is insufficient data to prove or disprove. So basically, there could be any of the above, which is what everybody knows already.
Yeah. The only thing I want to know is the ones taking on the ship, like the cameras that were on the ship, and they could see them clearly moving.
Yes.
So that should be a restricted air zone, like hands down. It's a Navy ship with jets.
You would think, yeah.
You would think. So why wouldn't none of them are saying anything about warning them to back off, warning them to this is restricted airspace.
Well,
We're gonna fire.
the ones with like the Tic Tac story off the coast of California,
Mm-hmm.
they chased that. I think they went after that. I don't think it actually came into their airspace as far as like came up close to them.
Yeah,
They were, I mean, I guess it was pretty close to him, but they went after it.
I'm talking about the one where they're on the ship and it's a camera and it's like say it was like had it been mounted to the ship and it was the triangle ship.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That one.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything about it, didn't try to, any warnings, nothing. They just
Right.
kind of let it be. Because I'm wondering if it was theirs and they're not doing anything about it.
So there was a senator that made a statement about it, and his statement was basically, and I'll read it here. I was first briefed on these unidentified aerial phenomena nearly 3 years ago, which I call bullshit on. They've known about them forever. Like,
Yeah.
you just learned about this 3 years ago, dog. Come on.
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
Those are definitely planted words.
Right. So, since the frequency of these incidents only appear to be increasing, the United States must be able to understand and mitigate threats to our pilots, whether they're from drones or weather balloons or adversary intelligence. Today's rather inconclusive report only marks the beginning of efforts to understand and illuminate what is causing these risks to aviation in many areas around the country and the world. So I mean, listen, they've been studying this forever.
Yeah. There's no way he did not know just until a couple years ago.
Right.
Which senator was that? Was that Rubio?
Mark Warner.
Warner? Okay.
Yeah. Mark Rubio, actually. Marco Rubio.
He was on our side with it, right?
Yeah, he kind of I think he kind of pushed it a little bit, to get the report out. But he said, for years, the men and women we trust to defend our country reported encountered with unidentified aircraft that had superior capabilities. And for years, their concerns were often ignored and ridiculed. So that shows you that obviously the 3-year time span is a lie.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's the ranking member of the Intelligence Committee. This report is an important first step in categorizing these incidents, but it is just a first step. The Defense Department and intelligence community have a lot of work to do before we can actually understand whether these aerial threats present a serious national security concern.
Do they have a lot of work to do, or do have a lot of cover up to do?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm guessing cover up.
You think you listen back to some of if you read, there was he was actually an attorney general at one point. Terry Lovelace.
Mm-hmm.
He has a story that actually, I think he just wrote a book. He has a story of when he was younger, early 20s, I think. Him and one of his buddies went out in the woods, camping, and his story basically goes, they're out in the camping, and there was 3 lights that were in a triangle shape, but they were fixed. They were a fixed distance from each other, so it looked like they were on one ship, one object.
Yeah.
So they were staying the exact same distance away from each other, but they couldn't see the object. All they could see was the lights. So he said they were, several thousand feet away, so he couldn't get a good look at it.
Yeah.
So, and he reported like a weird feeling of like disinterest, you know what I mean? Like, and I've read other reports about that too. Like people seeing him and like, oh, okay, whatever, like, move on. And so they go back into the tent and they fall asleep, and they report like being really tired all of a sudden.
So weird.
Yeah. So he wakes up and his buddy's at the tent flap, like looking outside, and he's like crying. You know what I mean? And he's like, dude, what's going on? He's like, they're still out there. And he's like, what are you talking about? So he gets up and looks out the tent flap with him, and he sees, he described them as what looked like children playing in like the field. And
like in the middle of the night?
In the middle of the night.
Holy shit.
And at this point, the wood craft was like 30 yards above him. I mean, it was pretty close to him.
This is an attorney general?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, this is when he was younger, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
He was in the military. So this is on a military base. So they take, the way the story goes is the guy his buddy was crying And he's like, dude, well, what's going on? And he looked at him. He said, oh, they're done with us or something like that, meaning that they had already taken him or whatever.
No way.
And he said when he woke up, he did notice like his shoes were untied and like his socks were all messed up. And, in the military, he's like, one thing they teach you in the military is your footwear. Like always take care of your feet. They're the most important things. Keep your socks on right, keep your shoes on right, keep them tied tight. They want you to do certain things with your feet because, if you're marching or whatever, you gotta have
need
your
'em.
feet. Right. So this whole thing happens over a course of about 45 minutes to an hour. And they kind of go back to bed and just forget about it. And he said that when the little guys on the field started disappearing, but it was like, he said it looked kind of like Star Trek. He said that like when they beam them up, the teleporter, he goes, basically they just kind of disintegrated into a beam of light and got sucked back up into the ship or wherever they were going. So that whole thing happens that night. The next day, his buddy is like, we got to tell someone. And he's like, I ain't telling nobody nothing. This is this is early 70s, like 71, 72.
Yeah.
You don't talk about things like that, especially in the military. Like you shut the fuck up and
You be kicked out. You be
yeah. Well, that's what he was worried about.
Yeah.
So his buddy's like, dude, I got to tell somebody. So he ended up talking to him or whatever. Well, I don't know. He said he actually doesn't know how they found out, but they came to him the next day and said, oh, one of the sheriffs came to him, I guess, and said, oh, you were out here or whatever. What were you doing out here? We growing marijuana out in the field, like all kinds of weird questions. And he always said he always had the suspicion, like he always felt like, they knew.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of where it all started. And then I guess his buddy finally came clean and told somebody. So they took him back to the military base and get all kind of tests.
Bunch of fucking questioning and fucking
checked him for testing for radiation and they had like second degree burns all over their entire body. Yeah, I don't know if you ever had a welder's flash, but like when you weld and you like burn your eyes or retinas.
Oh yeah.
He said even he had like that, like a sunburn on his eyes. He said that 100% of the body was covered in like second degree, like,
where it's just
burn.
it hurts your skin to touch.
Yeah,
like,
basically it's like a real bad sunburn.
Yeah.
And so the doctor was like, well, you got to wear sunscreen or whatever. And the guy's like, dude, we were camping in the middle of the night. Like there was no sun for one.
Yeah.
And for two, we were at the middle of the night and we're camping in the woods. Like I don't need sunscreen. So that whole thing happens. And it just kind of gets crazier from there because his buddy, I don't think handled it as well as he did, and
as in mentally.
So over the course of they transferred his buddy off the base almost immediately. He said within like 2 weeks they had transferred him to Japan.
Yeah.
About as far away as you can get, what I mean? And
never seen again.
Well, he said they talked once or twice or whatever, but then they lost contact, and he tried to get a hold of him some years later, being an attorney general, and they told him that he had died in a car crash or whatever. Well, he found out later that he hadn't died. And this was years later.
Oh, wow.
That he hadn't died then, but he was dead at this point. And this was in like, I think 17 or something. I don't remember the date, but
so not long ago.
Not very long ago, the guy died. So Terry kind of, dealt with it how he had to deal with it, whatever, talked to whoever he talked to. Obviously, he was having nightmares and like weird stuff. And later on in life, he woke up, and this was, I don't know, recently, but like 2012 or 14 or something like that. He woke up and his leg was hurting real bad. And he's like, man, I got to, he woke up his wife. He's like, you got to take me to the doctor. I can't put any weight on my leg. So she's like, okay. So she takes him to the doctor, and they get an x-ray, and he's like, well, you have a benign cyst or whatever on your leg, which is no big deal. He's like, a couple of weeks, it'll go away on its own.
Yeah.
But he said, have you ever been in a car accident or anything? And he's like, no, any injuries as a kid? No. Any scars? No. So the doctor looking at his leg is like, man, you don't have any scar, but you have a weird thing in your leg. And he's
like just something in there.
Yes. He's like, I have no fucking idea what it is. Like, I don't know what it is. He's like, I've never been injured. I've never had surgery. None of this.
Yeah.
So the doctor does the x-ray, looks at it, and he's like, something's weird has happened. He couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want you to take it out. And I guess he had some strokes or a couple heart attacks or something. So they said, well, I'll take it out, but you got to get your heart tested and this and that. So they never tested it. They tested him, but he wasn't well enough for surgery. Like his heart, they didn't think his heart was
Surprised they
strong
wouldn't
enough.
just take like a scalpel really quick and just make a little cut. You
That's
know
what
what I
I
mean?
said. That's what I said.
That's what I would have done. I'm like, oh, if it's like above, just below the skin a little bit, just make like.
Yes.
I mean, I could take a pen and just fucking shove it really quick.
Right. And he said it looked like a little chip with a couple of wires, like two little wires that were coming off of it.
No
But
way.
in his account of the story, he did talk about the being in a room that they took him into a round room, and it was all white, and it was like rubber. Everything was covered in rubber. Everything was rubber. It was basically a padded room or rubber room or whatever. And they did all kinds of tests to him, and they were
As in,
talking
this is on the ship or this is on
a ship.
Okay.
He believes that he was on a ship. So they were talking to him telepathically and telling him, like, everything's gonna be okay. We're not gonna hurt you. We're not here to, whatever. Just relax. It'll be over and you'll be back soon. And some of the stuff he was talking about is crazy. Like the one alien they think was what he thinks was a female just because of the shape of her or whatever, like stuck her fingers down his throat and like tried to come up through his nose and like realized that she couldn't do it or whatever.
Yeah.
So like she's like, and he's like, my mouth's bleeding at this point, and everything's bleeding at this point, and
What
it's
the
just
fuck?
yeah, everything sucks, So
I wonder if you like the people that have that, like, are they having those dreams that are remembering in the dreams that are happening, or is it just like come back to them? Like,
that's the weird thing. A lot of people say that a lot of these things the details don't come back until they get hypnotized.
oh,
So,
okay. Yeah.
Years later, he went to a hypnotist and he learned about a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then he became, obviously he was attorney general, so he kept a lot of this, hush hush, because he didn't want to look.
Oh yeah, he loses fucking
yeah
rank.
Yeah. So years he always had bad dreams, couldn't sleep, had to sleep with the lights on, just like always had, real bad dreams. And he was like, I kind of got used to it. So it just was what I lived my life and, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but at the point that he found that he had this thing in his leg and he wanted it getting taken out, he said he had a dream that night. And the alien that stuck her, like the female alien that stuck her hand down his throat, came to him and said, if you want this thing removed, you will remove it for you.
Yeah.
But if you keep persisting with having it removed by them, we're going to come and take it, and it won't be there when you go to get it. So
no shit.
This was a dream that he had.
Yeah.
And he said the next day he woke up and his leg was hurting, and he had like
it was gone,
puncture type wounds. And he's like, man, they fucking took it. They came and took it. So he woke up his wife and he's like, they came and took it. They came and took it. And he was trying to go back to the doctor to get a x-ray, but I guess they wouldn't just give him an x-ray or whatever. So he's made an appointment with a chiropractor, and because they'll do x-rays. And he's like, yeah, my knee hurts, I mean, he's like, well, let's look at your back. This and that. He's like, no, I really just need an x-ray of my knee.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we don't do just x-rays of your knee. So he's like, listen, I'll tell you why, but you can't ask questions, and I'll be straight with you. Yeah. So he tells the doctor, and of course you don't believe him. He's like, well, I can't give you an x-ray of your knee, for that or whatever, on the record. Yeah. So he's like, basically, listen, I'll take an x-ray of your leg. Well, they didn't do the x-rays there. He had to have basically a prescription written for one, and he went to another clinic down the road. Yeah. So he goes down to the clinic down the road and gets the x-ray, and he's like, listen, I'll do the x-ray. I'll do it for free. I'm not going to charge you anything, but do me a favor, when you write your book, don't talk about me. Don't talk about my clinic. You know what I mean? Like, just leave my name out of it. Right. So the guy's like, whatever, dude, deal. So he fully expected that the thing would be gone. Yeah. So he gets the x-ray back, and the doctor calls him back in, and he goes, well, it's different than what it was. And
so they added something.
Well, he goes, they left something. They took something out, but they left something. He goes, did you look at your x-ray? And he's like, no, I haven't seen it. Like, I haven't seen a new x-ray yet. And he looked at it and he goes, yeah, there's two little wires there still, but the main body was gone. Yeah. And he's like, I don't know. I don't know what to explain. And the doctor looked at him. He's like, dude, they upgraded you. He's like, you got the 2020 version, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
The 2017 version, whatever year it was. He's like, basically, they fucking upgraded you, bro. They came and took your shit out, put a new one in. You know what I mean? And now it's different than the other x-ray. So,
Yeah.
and it's harder to see, I guess. And he's like, you really got to look, but you can see the wires, the two wires that run down the side. They go
Yeah.
parallel with this
And
femur.
like,
He
what do
said.
those do? Like, if you think about it, like in that sense, like, what is the purpose of that? Or like, you know what I mean? Are they recording like
Well, it could
the
be like
anatomy?
it could be DNA, like a DNA tracker, or just a tracker to find you so they can come and get you again. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
maybe they took DNA from you or whatever. And a lot of people that talk about people that are abducted, it runs in their family. Like
yeah.
my grandmother was abducted or whatever, and they think that they do it over generations because they're trying to get a wider scope of data.
Of a
And
family
you know,
tree
and they're
timeline
probably,
of
and they're
DNA.
probably, and I think we've talked about this before. They're probably, they probably live for 1,000 years,
Yeah.
and we live for 90 or 100 at best. So
Mhm.
they can't get enough data off of one person. So the next best thing is your closest
Track that
relative.
DNA.
You know what I mean? Those follow your closest relative. So I mean, it makes sense if you think about it. If that's what they're doing, but it could be. I mean, who
They're
knows what they're?
cloning people.
Yeah, well, who knows what they're doing? And a lot of people think that they're doing, they're harvesting eggs and sperm, and that's what they think that's happening.
Yeah. I mean, it's not completely far fetched as it sounds. I
And they
mean, if
talk
it's happening to people, you know what I mean?
right. The thing about it to me is I don't know if people getting abducted or not. Like
Yeah.
there's so much, there's so many stories, and there's a lot of similarities in the stories, which kind of make you think, hey, okay, well, they heard this story and they're just kind of putting their own
Fabricating
spin
a
on
little
it.
bit.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or just putting a little spin on it to make it better or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it's subconscious. Like they really think something happened and they just kind of mix three stories together
Yeah.
and they got this crazy, abduction story.
Yep.
And I don't know, like I've heard so many stories and I've done so much research and reading about them that, there's one in a documentary that I watched where the woman went back, got abducted multiple times and over a course of several decades.
Hmm.
And they took her and they met her child. Like she got to meet
I
her child that
I remember
were,
this story.
yeah.
Yep.
And they basically just took her eggs and somebody else's sperm, or they did like hybrid. They took female eggs and their sperm
It's a
from
child
our
she
alien.
never knew, but it was hers.
Yeah, it's a child that she never knew, but she recognized it as hers for whatever
Yeah.
reason. I don't know if they told her subconsciously or whatever.
Dude,
But
that's crazy to think about.
but there's so many stories that are kind of the same.
Yeah.
So, either there's people getting abducted but you don't hear a lot of new abduction stories. You know what I
At
mean?
all. At all.
Like you don't hear a lot of news stories about people getting abducted and stuff like that. Now, maybe it's more advanced now that where, there's one theory that I heard to where they don't need to abduct you anymore. They can just basically telepathically get into your head and whatever,
Imagine if that shit was real and that happened to you.
But there's all
You know
kinds
what I
of,
mean?
yeah, that would be crazy. I don't know at this point. If I wasn't completely freaked out while it was happening and I had any kind of mental faculties about me, I'd probably be like, all right, cool. Let's see where this goes. You know what I mean? Like
It's just while I'm working at work and I just randomly get it and I stop. Just go to my car and leave.
Like time disappears for these people.
Yeah.
Like they'll go to bed and wake up, 8 hours later, or they'll, the great example is the Barney and Betty Hill case. If you followed any kind of abduction stories,
this is the one where they're in the car.
This is when they're in the car in I think upstate New York or somewhere in New York, and this was in like the early 50s, and they're driving down the road and they see this ship stuck on the side of the road, and they stop and they get out, and they see that it's not a normal thing, so they go back to the car, but the aliens or whatever were already coming towards them, so the car won't start. They can't get the car started, and then the way Betty describes it is she went into like not really a trance because she kind of knew what was going on, but she just couldn't do it. She went kind of
like
she just couldn't
autopilot.
She couldn't move or anything.
Yeah.
So she was like paralyzed. So they open a door, they take him on the ship. This whole big long ordeal, goes through. And while she's abducted under hypnosis later on, they find that she goes into like this whole crazy story, and there's video or audio recordings of the interview.
Yeah.
You can look them up online. They're pretty
creepy.
crazy. Yeah, they're pretty creepy. And she talks about them harvesting her eggs and like telling her like, we're doing this to help our race or whatever, and that a lot of people think that, that's why there's hybrid alien human people, on
Yeah.
Earth, because
With this kind of situations,
that's
it
the
could
point,
be possible.
right? At that point, that's the point, is to try to mix them in with people and, carry on our race, carry on their race. People talk about maybe their planet's in danger, or maybe they're trying to figure out how compatible they are and how compatible our DNA and our atmosphere on Earth is.
Yeah.
Where if they need it, if they need another place to go or something, or we needed a place to go, like, could they evacuate us, or could they come here? There's all kinds of different scenarios that play out when you talk about abductions and stuff. But the Barney and Betty Hill case was insane because she talks about them, like, she had a blue dress on, and they, after the whole thing goes down, and again, they lost time.
Yeah.
Like, to them, they just woke up in a car, but when they got home, it was like 5 hours later, and it was a 30-minute car ride. So they lost 4.5 hours.
It's insane, dude.
It's insane. And the Terry Lovelace story, later on in life, he was fishing, and he was fishing on a riverbank or whatever, because he would always fish during the day after he retired.
And is this after the X-rays?
This is before the X-rays, but
Okay.
later on, much later on in life.
Okay.
He's on fishing on a bank, and his wife had made him lunch or whatever. So the last thing he remembers is he went to open the lunch, and it was, lunchtime, 12, whatever. And it turned, and the very next thing he knows, it's like midnight, and the lunch bag is open, and that's the next thing he remembers. So he lost a half a day or whatever, however long it
12
was.
hours.
Yeah, he lost all that time, and he has no idea why. And he doesn't have a memory of, the best of my knowledge, he doesn't have a memory of anything happening to him other than, they took him again for a checkup or whatever whatever they take him for. I don't know. But there's just crazy stories like that, man. And it makes you wonder, like, who, I don't know, who do you believe? Because some of them are pretty convincing, and you talk to some of these people and see some of these people, and
like they put their,
they believe something happened. Whatever that something is, you can debate, I guess, but they fully believe something happened to them.
Yeah.
And they are convinced.
Dude, I just wish it would happen. Not saying I wish it would, but I'm saying, like, more evidence nowadays of that happening.
Yeah, you just don't hear a lot. You don't hear a lot of new reports about it,
Yeah, I like at all.
But you see a lot of sightings now, though, like newer sightings and stuff. So
some of those sightings are fucking insane too. I mean, and they're coming from military.
Well, right.
That's where it gets serious.
And there's other, and there's stories of people going on military bases and walking in on like alien autopsies and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're immediately, sign disclosure agreements and stuff, so they can't talk.
And you always get like the leaked autopsies, and it's like, can that be real? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? You can't, you don't know anymore. Like,
right.
It could be real, but everyone's like, yeah, that's completely fake.
And now, with technology, it'd be real easy to fake that shit. Like, I could fake whatever I wanted to, and it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it wasn't so easy. You know what I mean? Like, you had Polaroid cameras that, took 5 minutes to develop the film.
I mean, you could literally do anything you want
right.
with a computer.
Hey, where'd you go?
I'm going to leave this.
Well, at least they can't find you.
Yes. I mean, no one's going to know who I am.
Maybe I tell them your name. Maybe I don't. I don't know. It all depends on the offer they give me.
Exactly. So, just saying.
I don't know. All I know is I did a podcast with Taylor Johnson the other night.
Oh, we got to find one for him. This would probably be his. Just saying.
Yeah.
So. Oh man,
it's a putty cat.
Yep. Dude, so many crazy stories out there. There you go.
Going back in space.
It's cutting your ears off.
It's cutting my ears off. It's cutting everything off. This is.
Let's see if that happens to me.
Hold on, I'm gonna blur everything out so I can hide my identity.
There you go. I don't even know who you are.
Now you can't tell who I am because I'm blurred out.
Exactly. I like the Earth one. The Earth one's pretty nice.
Blur's good.
Not
I like
flat.
how do you
See the curvature. I see the curvature.
It's a cartoon, bro. It's a cartoon. Don't you
This
know?
is not. This is a real picture of grass. So this real picture of Earth.
There's no real pictures of Earth. It's all cartoons.
You're gonna get along with David Weiss.
I am. I can't wait. I can't wait.
You're going to.
You
You guys are going to be attacking me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's just good. That's just good radio right there.
Yes. You guys are gonna be definitely attacking me.
I'm like, wait, you're so stupid. I can't believe I'm even doing a podcast with you.
I'm
Round Earth. God.
Believer. But
oh no, gravity's real.
oh my God. It already starts. You can say it. We already know what you think. Ian believes in the flat Earth.
I'm gonna let it. I'm gonna leave it as a surprise for the episode. You gotta tune in and see what I really think.
That's all right. It's all right, bro.
I can't believe you believe in planets. You're so stupid.
See that one meme that I posted? It says, "Wow, it's crazy how nature can do that." And every planet is round except Earth is just square.
He has an answer for that, bro.
Dude, there's no
He
way.
has an answer. I'm telling you, he has an answer for it, bro.
There, he brings up some very good points. I will give him
He
that.
definitely has done whatever research is that you can do, I guess. I like that meme you sent me. It was the John Cena's mom giving birth. The doctor's Batman.
Where is he?
Where is he? That was
You got to post that one.
That was the funniest. That was the funniest meme.
Dude.
I'm gonna put it on Facebook.
You
It
have
was
to,
so funny
dude. As soon as I saw that, I started
because
busting out
and
laughing.
when I read it in like Batman's voice. Like
Yeah, I did the exact same thing.
100%.
Yep, I did the
Where is he?
exact same thing.
It was, dude. I'm driving. I almost wrecked. It was so funny. Oh my god, that was hysterical.
And sometimes when you don't text me, I'm like, did he just get into an accident?
Did he just die?
Yep. I'm like, my meme should have been that. Was that funny?
That shit was
I have
funny.
a couple more. But that one, I just started laughing because I said it too. I said it exactly how Batman would have said it.
Yep. Where is he?
Exactly.
That's the funniest part.
Yep. Anyone that reads that is going to say the exact same way we did in our heads.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly.
Makes me want to watch the Batman movies again.
People that don't know who John Cena is going to be like, I'm good at it.
Yep. And you're going to get a couple of those probably.
Yes. Wait, what do you mean?
But dude, I would love to watch the Dark Knight and all those movies again, man. Christian Bale and did a fucking awesome job.
Christian Bale and Heath Ledger were the best combination. You
couldn't get better.
I think that's the best Batman movie, man.
It made, yeah.
That Joker, I think he has the best Joker, and Christian Bale, he's probably my favorite Batman. Ben Affleck, I'm kind of growing on a little bit, but I think Christian Bale still.
I still see him as Daredevil.
Yeah.
So I mean.
It's really hard for me to take you seriously right now, bro.
Yeah, little nunchucks. I mean, whatever he had. So I'm not bashing his character, but I just can't take him seriously anymore. But he did make a good movie called The Town. I did like that one a lot.
I never saw that.
Oh my god!
I never
watch that movie tonight. Just watch it. Watch The Town.
I remember I wanted to watch it like 100 times, and for whatever reason,
it's the one where they wear nun mask and they fucking rob everything. Oh, dude.
Yes, and I just
see it.
I want to say I might have started watching it one time, and I don't know.
Yeah, this is gay. Turn it off. After like 10 minutes.
This is a Tyler movie. I'm done.
No, dude, I would love to watch that movie again. I'm probably gonna buy it on Vudu.
I remember wanting to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely got to.
They were like bank robbers or something, right?
Oh yeah, dude. It's a good one. I mean, yeah, you definitely have to see that shit.
Interesting.
Watch it
now. Okay, I'll be right back.
Do it.
Give me a minute.
From what I was reading the Washington Post, the CNN, how people take CNN that seriously, but it says
you need to start napping before these podcasts, bro.
Yeah. Trust me.
Do a bump of cocaine or something, and
All right, hold on.
hold on, right back.
The U.S. intelligence community on Friday released a long-awaited report on on what it knows about a series of mysterious flying objects that have been seen moving through restricted military airspace over the last several decades. And it's crazy; it's been decades, and they know about it, but yet nothing was ever released about the times over decades in the last year or two. Yeah, so that's kind of yeah.
They just learned about it 3 years ago, bro.
Yeah. So
didn't you read? Didn't you just hear what I said? You're not even
Decades,
listening to me.
fuckers. It says in a short answer, the answer, according to Friday's report, is very little. The intelligence community's release of the unclassified documents mark one of the first times the U.S. government has publicly acknowledged that these strange aerial sightings by Navy pilots and other are worthy of legitimate scrutiny.
Well, what are they gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, you can't hide it. I mean, people everywhere are seeing it. You know what I mean? Like, there's nowhere where you can test something that's not going to be seen.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you own like half the world, where
right, like
it's
there's cruise ships. There's they ship merchandise all over the world in cargo ships. Like, there's nowhere to test this stuff where someone's not going to see it.
Antarctica.
Well, they can go to Antarctica.
There you go. Problem solved.
But then they
that's it. That's the answer.
They're not allowed to go past the ice wall, bro.
Oh man,
someone's gonna kill
them.
I
need answers first off, because that right there just pisses me off that we're not allowed there, even though I'd probably never go there.
So the answer to why you're not allowed there, right, is because, well, I don't want to get into too much because I got David Weiss coming on, but
oh no.
My thing about that would be like, is there my question to him is going to be, are there things outside of the ice wall that we could, or I'm trying to think of the word, like, are there things that we can mine, or are there, resources out there that we can use? And does he think that we're actually, like, the government's going out, like, are there gold mines out there? Are there silver mines out there? Are there, if you base it on the fact that you think that the earth is flat, then there's an infinite plane, basically.
Yeah.
Is the claim. And we're in a dome, basically.
Yep.
So does the government go outside the dome and find gold and silver and, any other precious metals or anything that we can use inside the dome? Like, these are the things that I want to ask him.
So that's a really good question.
And I've never heard, and I've listened to a bunch of his interviews, and I've never heard him talk about that. So
does he believe in aliens? Do you know?
Yeah. Yes.
So he does believe in aliens.
Yes, he does.
Interesting.
But they come from outside the ice wall. They don't come from space. They come from, they're what we don't know is outside the ice wall. Like our little world.
I believe you've joined a cult.
Don't you say that.
I'm just saying, I think we lost you.
I think maybe you're the problem.
I'm getting a little uncomfortable here.
I think maybe you're the problem.
Another thing is, like, I want to ask him, if you're offered a trip to go into space or even just around the globe,
you son of a bitch,
is he gonna do it? And
don't you use the G word?
Like, oh, I will. And like,
he's answered that question.
But like, why hasn't he done it yet? Because there's people that do it all the time. You know what I mean? Like, they have those planes that can go in the stratosphere, that can go around. Like, they won't go around the world, but they'll go a good distance because of gas. But you know what I mean? That will show right there. Hey, there's Antarctica, buddy.
He has an answer for that, and I don't know how to. I've heard his answer to that before, and I don't know how to articulate it the way he will, and who will get into it. So,
but like, he has the opportunity to do it, because if he has the opportunity to give someone $100,000 to prove him wrong, there's got to be a reason why he won't get on that and go do it. Because I watched some videos. Like,
what do you mean going around the world?
There you go.
What do you mean? But I mean,
I just wanted you to say it. I'm saying
I gotta go
like,
take a shower. I'll be back.
they have those planes that are kind of like jets, but they're very thin that go
Okay.
up out into the atmosphere, into the stratosphere.
Right.
And they will fly around there and kind of just let orbit take its course and not use any. I believe they let orbit do it. It'll just naturally go around the Earth, and they'll come back down
Well,
after.
you're not going around the Earth, though. You're just on top of the Earth.
But you can see that it's not flat that way. You're that high up.
No, what you're seeing is
Okay.
I'm just gonna give you his answer.
Oh,
You want me to give you the answer or not?
Is it what you is it what
You
he
wanna-
thinks, or is
You
it what
want to learn
believe?
something today, or is it you just want to stay like in the closet?
All right, go on.
And you're in a
Go
safe
on
little
with
world.
the answer, because I want to see if this is the same one we talked
The
about.
answer is because when you're looking out a glass window, the glass is round, or like a windshield or something. The glass is round, and it's all about refraction,
I say
that the
refraction.
world infection.
It has that
that
appears
thing's-
round.
Yes. That's why planes and stuff. That's why when you're in a plane and you look out the window, it's because the glass is round.
So I want to know, is that what you believe?
Listen, it's not about me, bro.
All right.
Right?
No, okay. You son of a bitch.
I booked a trip to Antarctica.
Yep. And imagine David Weiss is your tour guide.
It's gonna cost me $135,000 exactly.
Yes. Oh my God.
I don't want to say
one
that.
person, one ticket.
I don't want to say nothing, but it's a one-way trip, bro.
You
And
son of a bitch. Hell no.
It was exactly $135,000.
It would be. It would be. I mean, and it would be worth it.
Every
Would
penny.
be worth it. Yep.
Every penny.
And another report for that says the report examined 144 reports of what the government terms unidentified aerial phenomenon, only one of which investigators were able to explain by the end of the study. That's fucking crazy. Investigators found no evidence that the sightings represented either extraterrestrial life or a major technological, however you say that, fucking stupid, advancement.
Stupid big words.
God damn it. By a foreign advisory like Russia, China. It's kind of like,
sorry, I don't have a thesaurus around me all the time.
Okay, that's it. Last podcast.
It's been real. Have fun, guys.
Oh yeah. How do I pronounce your gay? Oh, yeah, Samsonite.
Swami.
Dude, there's no way like they don't have. They have like almost no evidence, is what they're saying. They just
we need to go to Australia, dude. They have all kinds of sightings in Australia. There's all kinds of stories about Australia. We have the one story. I think I talked about it before, but the craziest story that I heard, it came from Australia.
The farmers.
No,
the overalls.
No.
Remember that one? I know you did. I will never forget that one.
Yeah, I don't think that was Australia. That was like Brazil or something.
Okay.
Two guys that were fishing. They're on their way home, and a truck breaks down, or the truck just shuts off. And they get out of the truck to see what's up, and there's like a ship or something in front of them. And the aliens get out, and supposedly they're wearing overalls and just like, I don't know, maybe they're space farmers, bro. You don't know.
Maybe don't. That's the thing. We don't know. Maybe they were just trying to do a hard day's worth of work. You know what I mean?
I saw a thing today that said that aliens they come to Earth and they are raising us to eat us. So they plant the grass and all the things that we eat to grow us, basically. Like they're farming us. They're farming us, and then they come take us when they're ready to pick us, and we're ready to go. And they come and
this is where all the missing people go.
This is where all the missing people go.
You sons of bitches. That one's a little far-fetched. I would not believe
that's the one I believe.
Oh my God. Okay, flat earthian. Oh man, I would not believe that one.
You know that's the one that's true. If any of them are true, you know that's the one that's going to be true. And
Of course it would be. I'm like, fuck no.
right.
Hell no.
Oh god, this is
I'm
horrible.
reading some of these stories. Australia. It says on 19.
So anyway, so what I was talking about in Australia was
Yeah,
the guy and his wife were at home sleeping, and they had one of his wife's friends over for the night. I talked about this not too long ago, I think. And the wife's friend woke up in the middle of the night and went out in the living room and started screaming. And so the husband jumped up and ran out there, and she's screaming and crying. And he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And he's like, "Oh, they took her. They took her." And he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like,
Mhm.
he goes that she came out the living room and her friend was levitating and they took her right out the window. Like, I'm assuming it was open. I don't know.
That's what I want to know. Did she go
Right.
through like
was it a bar fight where she just
is she a mutant now?
Here, bitch, get out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Did they open the window first? Like, you know,
Nicely at least.
So they call the cops. The cops come, and the cops there for like, I guess the time frame is about 45 minutes from start to finish.
Yeah.
Then the phone rings. They answer the phone, and it's a hospital. And he's like, and the guy at the hospital is like, are you related to so and so? He's like, yeah, that's my wife. And he's like, oh, she's here, she's okay, but we're keeping her for observation. You can come pick her up. And he's like, okay, well, where's she at? And the hospital was like 8 hours away or something.
Which is impossible.
Yes. And this is the window from start to now is 45 minutes.
It'd be insane. So they didn't lose any time then.
They didn't lose time. Well, maybe they did. I don't know. But how do you get 8 hours away? You know what I mean? And
yeah, you're right.
Like, she's 8 hours away as far as where she's located. Like, it would take him 8 hours to get there.
That's insane, dude.
And in 45 minutes. And they left her or whatever.
Did she ever say her story or?
No, I don't know. That was the most of the story that I got.
Because I would like to know her point of view.
Right. I'm thinking she hooked up with a boyfriend. And the boyfriend was like, listen, sneak out about midnight.
Yep. We're going to take a little Cessna plane.
Exactly. Right. I don't know. But
even a Cessna plane wouldn't make it there. If it's 8 hours away, it's going to take in a Cessna going 110,
right,
150
so
maybe.
You're talking what, 3 hours, 2 hours maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, it would at least take right around there.
So that was in Australia. I guess there's a lot of things in Australia. We have somebody that downloads our podcast in Australia pretty religiously.
Thank you, by the way.
Every week. So yeah, thank you.
You're the 1% in Australia.
You're the 1% in Australia.
You're strong.
It's always, and they're always there. You're always there.
Turns out to be that guy.
It's that guy's wife. Honestly, we're going to talk about her again.
Oh my god.
But that guy, whoever you are, should totally email us and let us know who you are.
Leave a comment in our podcast on Apple or on the Nerd Informer. Write us a message.
Yeah, go to the nerdinformer.com or our Facebook. That would be hilarious.
I was going to say a Jim Carrey quote, but I'm not going to. Oh man, you already know what I'm talking about, probably.
A limo?
Oh man, that's exactly what it was.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm glad.
Put
a shrimp on the bottom.
This is why we're never going anywhere. And we're going to be where we're at for the rest of our lives.
That 1% just turned into 0%. Trust me.
This is the garbage we put out. People are like, "What the hell?"
Oh my god. Well, we just lost that guy.
Or girl.
Dude.
Need a girl.
It could be. It could be.
I need to know. So if you're listening, somehow
they go through every decade of there's got to be more, but every decade there is sightings or reports in Australia.
I'm telling you, Australia's a hot spot, man.
Oh yeah,
they're always talking about the stories in Australia.
Dude, crazy. I just want a new person with an updated camera to get abducted. Not saying
yes. Come on, take one for the team, bro.
But I'm saying we need to have. I wish there was new stories. You know what I mean? Of those, because you don't ever hear those stories anymore.
I know you don't get it.
And if you
I
do,
need some news stories.
if you do hear about them, they're like on a show that's about UFOs or abductions
Yeah.
that are not like there were stories that happened years ago, and not like, oh, this just happened. And would they be labeled crazy today? You know what I mean?
You can't call nobody nothing today.
It's very true. They'd be offended.
Yes. They would cancel you
Damn it.
because you called them crazy.
We could say that now?
You can say that. So
Yep.
there's a story of Westall UFO Melbourne. The Melbourne suburb of Clayton is not only the location of Australia's largest university, Monash, but also that of the country's largest mass UFO sighting. In fact, it was an educational setting where the unidentified flying object was first spotted. I think we've talked about this. No, this is a different one. The other one was in Africa. The students at Westall High School had a field day when in 1966 something mysterious was detected in the autumn sky. A whopping crowd of over 200 people reportedly witnessed the event, said to have been two saucers hovering above the schoolyard trees, soon landing in a nearby paddock after having successfully distracted hundreds of kids from their morning lessons. The UFO was said to have shot back into the ether a couple of minutes later.
I want to know.
crazy.
I know that's almost a similar story, but there was more to it in Zimbabwe. Was it?
Yes, that's what. Yeah,
Zimbabwe, where they were telepathically talked to.
yeah, they talked to all the
And
kids. Yeah,
So I want to know, what was the date of that? Because what you know what I mean?
that was a little more recently, I think. Actually,
Maybe in the 70s or 80s.
I think that might have been a little more recently. This was
It's kind of crazy that they'd be going to like, but you're right. They're like not lethal.
66. Yeah, well, that's the theory behind it. Is
Smart.
they're talking to children because they're not dangerous and they're not trying to shoot them in the face the minute
Or they're trying to
You
pick
get
up, unless they're trying to pick up their food products. You know what I mean?
right.
Just saying, harvesting.
Right.
It could happen.
Any of you ready yet?
Exactly. Yep.
Oh god.
I could see it. I could see it.
Oh man, there's a bunch of stories, man. And
There, we could go on months of stories and not even be covering a quarter of them.
they have like billboards in Australia. They say welcome to Wycliffe Well, US UFO capital of Australia. The Wycliffe Well.
Awesome would be just go travel there and actually see.
I would love to go there, man. It's in the Northern Territory. It's considered Australia's UFO capital. The small town is one of the world's top 5 UFO hotspots. So if you can't get to Nevada, head up north. The Wycliffe Well Tourist Park is decorated with plastic aliens and model UFO, so that you can get good photo ops, even if you don't have your own sighting.
So now we're mocking them.
Yes, now we're mocking them and
Yeah.
we're basically poking them with the stick.
Yes.
You guys are stupid.
Do
That's
something.
funny.
Do something.
You guys are a bunch of freaks.
We're provoking. I see this.
That'd be unlucky though, with sightings in the area said to be so common that a binder was used to record all of the incidents, starting from the end of World War II. However, unfortunately for timeline fanatics, the folder went missing several years ago.
Of course it will.
Conspiracy theory alert.
Oh yeah.
Wycliffe's Wells location across ley lines, landscape route considered to be significant, and its flat horizon makes it conducive to purported UFO spottings. But with only 3 reported sightings in the area in the past year, perhaps visitors from both the sky and on the ground are looking elsewhere.
So what I want to know is that takes place in Australia.
That's Australia.
So does the Australian government hide as much as the US government, or are they pretty open? You know what I mean?
I don't know if they
Never
give you
even
any.
thought
I don't know if they give you any kind of information. You never hear about other governments talking about
ever.
aliens, and I guess our
Maybe.
government don't talk about them either. So,
Well, now they kind of have to in a little bit, but like,
well, yeah,
are those other countries the same? Well, I mean, they're not, because I mean, they're just not going to let that probably happen. But I wonder if there is some countries that are open to it. Talk about it openly.
yeah. I don't know.
It'd be good to get someone like from Australia, the listener that does listen. Thank you very much. Let us know, like, if you do write us on Facebook, the Nerd Informer. Let us know like what your government does about that situation.
That would be interesting to
Yeah,
find
because you
out.
don't really we don't hear about what's happening in Australia's
Whoa,
news.
hold
We
on a
don't.
second. I gotta look at this here. UFO attacks family in Australia.
No way.
All right, I'm listening.
I'm
I'll
in.
bite.
Trust me.
I'll bite. UFO attacks family in Australia. UFO sightings in Australia. A question many of us have asked ourselves: are we alone in the universe? From flying saucers to balls of light rocketing through the sky, South Australia has had its fair share of reported UFO encounters. One avid ABC reader has asked us to delve into the history of the state's major cases as part of our curious. I don't know what
It's
that
okay. Sound it out.
is. Cat?
That's what I thought.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
So we dusted off some Australia's oldest X Files to find answers. We'll start on the outback. You son of a bitch.
That's right.
Where the traumatized family have been allegedly lifted off the ground by aliens. It was still dark in the early hours of January 20th, 1988. When no, huh?
Oh no, I'm just saying that's not too far away.
Yeah. When the Knowles family was driving along the remote Nullarbor Plain, seemingly mundane trip from Perth to Melbourne quickly turned to terror when they encountered an unidentified flying object that tormented them for 90 minutes. A large glowing, that's kind of a long time.
Yeah.
A large
But
glowing
it's
object.
weird
like
that
a
it's
big-
90 minutes and not one other person caught it.
Right.
Unless it's like out in like, the
There's
bushland.
There's kangaroos out there somewhere that caught it.
It could be the bushlands, out in the middle of nowhere in the desert.
Right. A large glowing object like a big ball chased Faye Knowles and her adult sons, Patrick and Wayne and Sean, down the highway before landing on their roof and plucking them into the air. It apparently picked the car up off the road, shook it quite violently, and forced the car back down on the road with such pressure that one of the tires was blown. A police spokesman told media at the time it was in a state of shock. Sean Knowles put his foot on the accelerator as his mother screamed, but according to reports, their voices distorted like time was slowing down.
And then they got off the Universal ride. I'm just joking. Sorry for those people.
You know that's one of the people that listen to us in Australia. God damn it.
Son of a bitch.
It's Sean. Sean's listening to us right
It's
now.
actually they're related from the last person. So just saying.
This is why we can't keep fans, because we do shit like this.
The best kind of work.
It's not my fault. I
It's
blame
mine.
you.
It's fine. Trust me.
I blame you. Unidentified Aboriginal Australia. I got some crazy stories. We could do a whole thing on Australia and
Just Australia. Dude, we should, what we should do? We should go and we should do different continents with different stories.
yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll do
Yeah.
Australia. We'll do we'll pick out a couple good ones. And then we'll see if there is any in like China, if there's any in Japan.
Nobody wants to go to China.
You never know.
They're all wish aliens. They've got like
Oh my God. I wouldn't have gone that far with saying that, but now since you said it, it kind of makes sense.
They're all plastic ships that fall apart.
His arm fell off. Oh my God.
I don't know. It was walking along. It just
I'm
fell
just saying,
off.
if you ever ordered anything from there, it's absolutely wrong.
It just fell the fuck off.
Some person that ordered like AirPods and they got one big one and it doesn't even, it's like it fits on their table. Have you seen the Michael Myers mask? Have you seen that one? When you order a Michael Myers mask from Wish, and it's the worst made costume I've ever seen.
Oh god.
It is so fucking bad. Where I'm gonna actually pull it up.
Oh god, that's
Wish
great.
Michael Myers mask. There we go. That's weird. It's the first thing searched.
Hold on. I gotta look at this. Hold on.
I'm gonna throw it up. Oh, it's so bad, but it's so funny. For everyone that wants to see, this right here is the mask you get
Oh my
from Wish,
God.
and it is so bad.
What the fuck?
I mean,
it's
it's
it
so
look-
bad.
it looks like I made it, and I'm borderline retarded. So it.
I feel bad for the people that made that mold.
I feel. Listen, they were making 18 cents a week.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Hopefully
going to
not,
hell.
but
I'm going to
they
hell.
probably do they have to make quota, you know. But I'm just, no offense.
I guess we're going to hell together.
Yep.
I spent enough time with you. I don't think I should go to hell with
No,
you.
we're going.
Get
Trust
in,
me,
loser.
we have
Get
express
in, loser.
passes. So we're the first fuckers there.
Find a perfect Michael Myers mask from the 80% off.
It is so bad. It's so bad.
Oh god,
There's some crazy things on there. I mean,
I don't even know what it's. I can't even. It's like Michael Myers weighs about 450. And
yes.
his face is swollen from too much sodium, and
oh, there's a couple of them that they make, and they're never identical. They're always different molds of people's faces.
there is no one mold to make that fucking mask.
No, every time it's the workers like, I don't want to do it. They have to do their own mold of their own face. I can see it.
Oh my god! What the fuck? Look at it.
If you look at some, there's some really bad ones. But let's just say I'll be ordering from them. So
I don't want to say nothing, but it's on its way.
I'm gonna get you that as a present. I'm going to.
I know what I'm gonna be for Halloween.
Yep.
Oh, I can't even say it.
It's Crackhead Michael.
I can't even say it.
It's Crackhead Michael is what it is.
Oh my goodness, that's hysterical.
Jeez.
That's great.
But I say we go, and I want to find some UFO stories, and
I've never heard any. I've never heard any from Canada. I want some Canadian.
There's got to be. It's so close to Alaska.
You know, the Canadian people are like super nice, so they're like, making the alien snacks and stuff, and
like, did you lose your way, eh? You
lose your way, eh?
Yep.
Sorry about that.
No
sorry
offense.
about that. That was like. Is this our last podcast? I feel like this is our last podcast ever.
I feel like it's crumbling.
Is our world falling down around us?
Yep.
I feel like there might not be a way to recover from this.
We're gonna have to do one about Canada. We're gonna have to find some on Canada. There's got to be.
We're gonna have to change the name of the podcast, and we're gonna have to wear disguises because we can no longer podcast under this name.
Say no more, right? Say no more.
I'm gonna be. I'll be a pirate.
That's all right.
I'll be the pirate. They can't.
Let's pull this over. I mean, they'll never know. I mean,
oh god,
different disguises. I mean, it works in the movies, so.
Oh god,
I can do it. I can rock it.
Where'd you go? I don't see you. I don't know who you are.
It's all right.
What'd you do with Tyler?
Where is he?
Where is he?
Yes.
Where is he? John Cena's mom giving birth. That's hysterical.
It's one of the best memes I've ever
It
seen.
is so funny.
Mm-hmm. All righty.
That would work with Drax too from Guardians of the Galaxy when he's standing
Oh
still.
yeah. Yep.
And
yep.
he's like, I'm invisible. I move so slow. You can't you can't see me. Yes, we can. You're right there. You're
I
eating
gotta watch the
chips.
second one, man. I've only seen bits and pieces of that one. I don't
Well,
think I've seen it all the way through.
we've completely destroyed this podcast, so I guess
It was a great podcast. We got to learn a couple things today that you're a flat earther.
we've
Number one.
insulted several people.
I almost went too far with the flat earth with insults. But
we lost our one fan in Australia.
he or she is probably gone. Yeah, to come realize that one. Maybe gain their trust back, then ruin it.
That's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Next time it'll be better. I promise.
Exactly.
Here, hold this grenade.
gonna
I just
happen.
pulled a pin on it.
Exactly. That's pretty much, that sums it up right there.
Oh God.
But we'll have to find some interesting ones. I would want to find some in Russia. I want to know what.
I can't believe we haven't made it big yet.
Exactly, dude. I mean, the topics we go on, but we need to find some good ones. Like,
I don't think they're Russian. I wonder what the Chinese government and Russian government and stuff tell people that see them. Like, do they just kill them and they're like, oh, you don't see him?
It's ours. Talk about it. Die.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that's it. They probably don't fly it there. They probably don't see him there because they're over here flying around our Air Force bases.
You got to think too that Russia has so much land that's not touched, hundreds of miles, thousands probably.
Yes.
It's Siberia. I mean,
there
is nothing there.
I mean, if you're gonna fly a plane and test stuff, that's the spot to do it.
That's definitely the spot to do it.
I mean, other than being in Russia, but
yeah. But you never know. I mean,
not that I have a problem with Russian people.
I don't. I like them very much.
I love Russians.
But
especially the women.
Exactly. But that's like the best spot to do it. I mean,
I would think
in
so.
the middle of nowhere.
If I was gonna do it, that's where I would do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
anywhere in the world.
And you don't want people to see it, you know what I mean? Like, that's the perfect spot.
Yes. I mean, it really is. I mean, so it'd be kind of cool to see. I'm gonna look to see if there's any in Russia or.
I mean, I get why they do it over water and stuff because they figure you're a lot less likely to be seen, you know. But yeah, something like Russia, somewhere like that, over Siberia, where only the Sherpas can like see you.
Yeah.
And we just lost our last Sherpa fan.
Oh my God, that gone.
The user has left channel.
Yep. But I mean, yeah, that'd be. I need to look. I need to definitely look into some of those other.
We should do that. We should do. Yeah, we'll do country. We'll do a country one.
You pick a country, and I'll pick a country, and we'll
all right, done.
Weirdest stories. I'm gonna find some good ones.
All right, done. We'll do that next Sunday.
Oh yeah. I'm going to do that. But I say we just call it here and stop our nonsense. The people that
you're ready to stop the bleeding now.
The people that we ruined. Yeah. So we'll end it here and appreciate everyone stopping by the Nerd Informer.
This will probably be our last one because let's face it.
Let's hope it's our last one.
Maybe they hope it's our last one.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yep.
I'm pretty resilient though.
Unfollowed by many now. Thank you everyone for stopping by the Nerd Informer and our talk on UFOs and what our government did not do to inform us. So you guys have a great night and check us out on YouTube at the Nerd Informer. We recently posted quite a few videos now. I think we're up to like 7 or 8 videos, and we're going to be posting every podcast we do on YouTube so you guys can see it live on Zoom. So check us out there too.
And check us out on Facebook, and we will see you next time.
See you guys later.
Later.